It's time for another episode of Potawatomi County Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Coming up today, we are going to visit with Rachel Hamilton. She is the CEO of Marne Elkhorn Communications, and Rachel is going to talk about a program that Marne Elkhorn takes part in that helps combat cybercrime, including trafficking. As she's the first to admit, it's a tough conversation and maybe not the most pleasant of topics, but it's an important conversation to know that things are being done at Marne Elkhorn. And also, there are seminars and classes coming up that if you are an older resident, that you can learn a little bit more about how to protect yourself and things to be able to watch out for. So Rachel's going to talk about that as well. Rachel Hamilton, CEO of Marne Elkhorn Communications, on today's episode of Potawatomi County Roots. Potawatomi County Roots brought to you by Dave Lawrence, your Edward Jones financial advisor. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. For all natural health solutions in Southwest Iowa, Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. And she is has a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies. She has it right there at her store at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs. You can also explore your wellness options online at bambisgreenacres.com. Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market, putting health in your hands. And Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance, your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs, with 4 convenient locations in Trainer, Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn, which means they're local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team will educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. Joining us this morning, it is Rachel Hamilton. She is the CEO at Marne Elkhorn Communications. Hey, good to see you again. And it's always a great time when we get a chance to talk, even if it is crazy cold outside.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to your viewers and your listeners, and it's always a fun time. I always learn something too, so thanks.
I am curious because I heard about something that I think that you guys are involved with, and but I don't have a lot of information about it. And they're called Guardian Group. Can you tell me a little bit more about what this is?
Yeah, so obviously our job as an internet service provider is to connect everybody to the internet, and that's all about what we're doing. That's what our business is based on, is connecting everybody to the world at large. And internet has become a valuable tool to everybody, our businesses, our schools, our commercial, our residential customers. It's all about how can we sell the internet and what can we do on the internet. But we're also aware that there is a dark side of the internet too. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit today, is the Guardian Group, and an initiative that was created to give internet service providers tools to recognize things in the communities that we're in and out of that we don't think are right or we have a funny feeling about. And the Guardian Group, along with many independent internet service providers, have created this relationship where Guardian Group gives us a platform to train our employees about recognizing the signs in your communities of things that might not be right or don't feel right. Again, we have 21 employees that travel along I-80 on a daily basis, and they're in and out of communities, and they are probably do come across things every now and then that don't seem right. You know, they're in and out of gas stations along I-80. And so this is really an opportunity for train our staff to just recognize signs that just don't seem right, and what they can do if they see something that they just don't feel good about. Or
When we're as local people, I think sometimes we can forget. We look at I-80 and, oh, we're running from the Marne exit down to the Harlan exit or something like that. And it's just kind of a local place. But this is really, it's a coast-to-coast nationwide highway that has served us very, very well. But also it can serve some bad guys too.
yeah, again, we have just a tiny civic responsibility to do what we can. And so we decided to contribute to the Guardian Group effort to train our staff And also, there's a small piece in there that if you have anybody that's in law enforcement around here that wants to know more about what it is that the Guardian Group does, I would love for you to reach out to me. The Guardian Group is based on the West Coast, and as an association, the Iowa Communications Alliance and the National Telephone Cooperative Alliance decided to join with Guardian Group and to help share their message. And the Guardian Group employs a lot of intelligence analysts that are combing the internet, looking through Facebook ads, looking through Craigslist, eBay, those types of platforms to see if they can find things that they don't think are being used for good, or are exploiting people, and they do all the analytics, all the intelligence searching, but they need law enforcement groups to be able to give this information to in all of our communities. And so that's the other side of this, that there are connections that we can make with local law enforcement to get involved with the Guardian Group. We want to be able to do that also. It's a not pleasant conversation, right? Nobody likes to think about that. And I want to be very clear that we do not monitor people's internet usage. We don't know what people are looking at on the internet. That is not what this is about. This is more about, as a company, we're out and about all the time. Just being aware of your surroundings and what's going on in your communities.
This reminds me of something that I've heard that, say, on if you're flying somewhere, that the flight staff is trained to just be aware. They're not doing investigations.
Nope.
It's just, you know, have your eyes open. And if one of these warning signs pop in, then let's get somebody a little better trained to take a
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to.
It is. And, we do all kinds of safety training for employees. And I think of it along the same lines. We do safety training about, how you use your trucks and where you're parking and the hazards that you're getting into. It's more along that lines. It's just be aware of your circumstances. Um, we're probably one of the few providers that are in and out of these communities all day long. You get used to your surroundings and what they do look like, and if something's out of the ordinary, say something. And um, yeah, it's just something that we feel, is part of our responsibility.
How did your staff respond as you presented this to them and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to go through this training? What was some of the feedback that you got from there?
I did not, I was a little hesitant to broach the subject, but then also felt quite passionately about it. You learn more and more, and it's not a conversation that I like to have. It's not a presentation I like to sit through. It does make, the hair stand up on my arms, and it's not easy to listen to, but um, I think we're all good people here in the Midwest, and we are Midwest nice, and we do tend to think that those things don't happen here or they're not going on here, and that's just not the case. And so, I have a pretty good read on this stuff. I think that they would want to know about this too. And yeah, there was no opposition. Sometimes you put training out there that it's very um, what do I want to say? We are bound to lots of regulation in this industry. So we do have to do lots of training that everyone's like, oh, do we have to go through this again? This wasn't the case with that. We do semi-annual staff meetings too, where we try and train on all kinds of different subjects. And we had a public health nurse come in one time, and just the conversations that are more impactful about this could be impacting your family or people and those kinds of emotional attachments are sometimes easier to get your staff to buy into, as opposed to, I need you to learn all of this regulation to know what you can and cannot say and things like that. These subjects more personal, I think, and are accepted easier than some of the other more monotonous things we get to do.
Well, and it's just a reality of the industry that you're in. You do so many wonderful things, and you're able to connect people in a way that we really haven't been before. I mean, you and I are sitting right now. This is George Jetson stuff from back
Yeah,
when I used to watch cartoons when I was a kid, and we could see each other on the screen, and it's just become commonplace now, and so many wonderful things on the internet. But it also brings out the bad stuff,
it does.
and it's part of it, and we pretending that it doesn't exist doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No. And I do think it is being more widely spoken about, but this is more like, okay, we hear about this, we know about this, but let's actually do something about it. As a company, let's participate with the Guardian Group. Let's help sponsor their effort. Let's share their message. Let's make connections where we can. And that's what's really important. I know that our local law enforcement, they have so many things going on. They probably don't have dedicated people that can just sit and focus on subject matter like this. And can we help connect the dots here? The Guardian Group can do this for you. All they need is a contact in your law enforcement agency to be able to pass information on to you. That's all they're wanting to do. They're not, wanting to take anything from you. They're wanting to give free information. And I think viewers or listeners, if they went and researched the Guardian Group, they would really understand what it is that's going on. And it's just a part of what we do. Again, community is the most important thing to us. And even though this isn't a good part of what happens on the internet, it is a real part. And if there's any little piece that we can do to help educate our staff and our customers, we're more than willing to do that.
You bring up a good point because we talk about it a lot on this show about the importance of community and the importance of um, building relationships with those that are around you. And with a organization like Marne Elkhorn Communications, that's not just one community. That's a lot of different communities, and you are just as important in every one of those
Yeah.
when you go out and do that. So that just kind of amplifies everything for you.
Yeah. When you think about it, we touch Audubon, Cass, Shelby, and Pottawatomie County. Those are four different law enforcement agencies there. If we can connect the dots in those, and sometimes it's hard to get in front of those people. They're really busy, and I really respect what it is that they do and all of the things they have to wrap their heads around in a day. It's hard to get in front of them and share this message. So I hope if there is anybody out there that wants to learn more, that they would reach out to me and I could help connect the dots. It's all about who you know or how you know to get to who you want to know. And I am more than happy to connect those dots if I can.
And something else that's going on out there quite a bit is these email scams that can come in and look very real.
Yeah.
And it seems that something bad is happening or the potential of something great is
Yes.
happening.
Yeah,
And these, they're getting very sophisticated.
they are.
With how some of this is coming out, and I know you're doing your part to try to help a segment of the population recognize that and be able to protect them online.
That is a part that I feel passionate about too. My mother-in-law passed away recently and she had just turned 90. And we were talking about what she had seen in her lifespan. Near the end of her life, she was able to access the internet on this little itty bitty device that you wouldn't even have dreamt of 30 years ago. And she was 90 and was now had access to the internet and email. And I used to joke that I was her tech support, and sometimes that would make me want to pull my hair out. But at the same time, it's like, who's educating, these people that have access to all of these things, but didn't grow up in an environment with digital communication, and how can we help um, prohibit them from getting into circumstances that they didn't want to. They aren't going to inherit $1 million from some Persian prince or something, and so we talk about that a lot. It is amazing to me um, how many scams are out there and how many things look so legitimate that people don't think twice about. This might be somebody who is going to scam me, and so We're doing a senior safety series right now in all of our community libraries, which include Elkhorn, Walnut, and Avoca. We did Exira recently in December. And it's just an afternoon coffee with anybody in your community who wants to come in. There's a short video series on protecting yourself when using the internet, and it's free to anybody that wants to come and join. We ask you to RSVP to the library so they know how many people are going to be there. We have one coming up in Elkhorn, January 28th. I see we already have 20 people RSVP to that, which doesn't seem like a lot. Those 20 people are going to tell 20 other people. And then they're also going to know if they have questions or concerns, call our office. Don't click on that email. If you're not sure, call us. You know, we get lots of calls like that. Like, is this legitimate? Do you think this is legitimate? Can you take a look at it? Yeah, we would rather do that than see you get into something that is a whole lot of work to get out of. And yeah, it's just a simple thing that we can do, but so much easier to pick up the phone and call us and ask us for help than click on that and then spend, you know, days and weeks trying to change all your bank accounts. Or yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a
there
nightmare.
was there was one going around last year about tolls in different cities.
Mm-hmm.
And now the ones that came to me, I hadn't been through a toll booth in years. So I knew it wasn't me, but I do know someone that got caught by it because
Mm-hmm.
they had been in that city
Mm-hmm.
just recently,
Yeah.
that it was saying that they owed one. So they just went through, and the next thing you know, their bank account is being drained.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the internet is good and bad, but it has made me, what do I want to say, a very pessimistic person. Like, if
Hmm.
you're really trying to get a hold of me and I don't know your name, I'm not answering, I'm not replying. I mean, unfortunately, that is what it has done. You know, it has made some of us very skeptical about. I got the same toll one also, and I had been in those communities too, and I'm like, just not replying. I guess I always think if somebody really wants to get a hold of me or really needs me, they will track me down on my phone. And even that you have to be wary of these days. So
I
yeah.
have occasionally, I don't recommend doing this, but I occasionally would play back and just say, thank you so much for contacting me, because your share of the loot that we just stole is going to be available. And you need, and next thing they're, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
And just to kind of, and I said, I don't recommend doing that. It's just kind of,
Mhm.
we're guys. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But so with these types of opportunities for people to learn more about that, is there a place that you get signed up for it? Where can they go to do that? Do you know?
Yeah, go to our website. We always have these details on our website about any events that we're doing that we're going to participate in. I know the Senior Safety Series is on our website, which is the metc.net, metc.net. You can see what days they're going to be at those libraries and the hours. And it will also tell you how to RSVP. But again, if you're a customer and you're having questions about your internet and emails that you're receiving, don't hesitate to call us. Um, we sell a good service and it does a lot of good things, but it also can cause a lot of harm. And it's a fine line we walk trying to connect people, but also to keep them safe too.
Yeah, I try to follow the rule of, if I've just received very good news, chances are it wasn't from a stranger's email. It's not going to be the first time.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, Rachel, thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and for everything that Marne Elkhorn Communications is doing to combat this. And it's a reality of the world that we live in, but that doesn't mean that we have to fall victim to it.
Yep.
So,
That's right.
so,
We
so well,
can
thank
all,
you so much.
yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.
Again, that website, metc.net, if you would like to learn more about any of the programs that Rachel was talking about. A leak, a clogged drain, or a big remodel is right in the wheelhouse of Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs. They've got you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit them online at waldsteinplumbing.com. Service Master Restored by Schmader knows it's hard to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke, and you may also be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. Service Master Restored by Schmader will restore by offering quality commercial and residential restoration services in Council Bluffs and the surrounding area. Call 402-339-9911. That wraps up the show and wraps up the week. Thanks again to Rachel Hamilton for joining us today. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And my name is Todd Studer. We'll see you back here Monday morning.